Hi, I didn't anticipate doing another video so soon, but I wanted to just put a few points out there about national dialogue right now, which has become very nationalistic again. This is a concern for me. A lot of people know, even during the Sanders campaign, it's just a little too nationalistic for my taste. You know, why aren't we talking about things happening at an international level? Because we're still the global 1%. That's still a thing, okay? And the 1% still exists in the US. And until that is, the insecurity that creates a process of othering, where people will other, you know, and it can cut really close to home, you know, dividing up families and, you know, bonded social groups, you know, when things become economically insecure, you know, somebody's always looking for who to blame and how to stay ahead. I mean, we have these survival instincts, you know, and we need to start understanding them better. As far as police brutality, this is a subject that I have so many passionate feelings about that I have to keep myself in check. Not to be too subjective, but in criminology, one of the constructs that you talk about is informal social control. This is, you know, we don't want to just, this whole defund the police movement, where I'm with the spirit of it, but I'm not with the wording, and I'm not with the timing of it, that wording, and because it's just so divisive, and right before, you know, an election that's one of the most polarized and important in the history of the United States. Okay, informal social control is like call-out culture, public shaming, it's even gossiping. So it can be abused too. And you're going to have the same problems with police as you do in the informal social control sector, which we already have. But so basically, let's take a look at ourselves, you know, especially as white people, you know, instead of just firing off on Facebook, let's look at what we can do in our communities to, you know, take away the incentive for crime. And that's a really heavy question, and so I'm just going to let it hang. What can we do to take away incentives for crime? Let that hang. What can we do to decrease the prevalence of otherism? You know, whether it's immigrants, racial, Democrats, Republicans. How can we stop this dichotomous thinking? And 3, you know, leading up to this election in November 2020, we need to get on a unified tip as soon as possible, because I saw what just happened with the primaries here in Georgia. I mean, it could not have been orchestrated worse. Or I was going to say better sarcastically, but I couldn't even stomach it. It was the pandemic. They'd already been postponed because of the pandemic, so everyone's already wondering how they're going to vote. And then all of a sudden, you know, half the people are still locked down pandemic, and then, I don't know, half, or what the percentages were, but then, you know, other people that would normally be organizing around the elections were out in the street protesting during a pandemic. I mean, there's just all these, you want to talk about intersectionality, like these intersectional influences that left us in a state of confusion and total disregard and allowed very unfair electoral politics to dominate again, just in the state of Georgia. I think we have a microcosm that we experienced that, you know, be ready for that October surprise. But with this administration, it's going to be more like a July surprise, an August surprise, a September surprise. And we got to move back, stop reacting. You know, don't stop being informed, but, you know, stop with the outrage culture. I get it, but it'll wear you out. This book actually talks about how people who study criminology are most prone, one of the fields that is most prone to burnout, where people just say nothing works and they walk away. And that's what a lot of voters did in 2016, and to our great detriment. And so we will learn from that, and we will not do that again. Okay? It's a deal.